In an important development, the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the WAVES 2025 conference. WAVES means World Audio, Visual and Entertainment Summit, in which nearly representatives from 90 countries have participated. And giving his inaugural speech, the Indian Prime Minister has used a term called Orange Economy. Orange economy is a term which has been coined and popularized by Inter-American Developmental Bank. And orange economy means simply creative economy. It is an economy where the creativity of people is going to contribute to job creation, and along with job creation, it also will contribute to economic growth. And in the creative economy, the most important aspect would be culture, intellectual property, and by using the digital means, there would be propagation of this creativity and content creation. That kind of economy is called as orange economy. And many speeches were given as part of the WAVES conference, in which cinema actor superstar Rajinikanth also participated. Then along with that, Mukesh Ambani, the head of Reliance Industries, also participated. And in the speeches, they have mentioned very clearly that the next big growth sector for India after the software development is going to be in the field of orange economy, as the Indian culture, the diversity of India helps us to create a universal language in which we can tell the stories to the world. And along with that, the Indian Prime Minister also invented the global content creators also to make India as a subject matter. With 140 crore strong population, with increasing consumption of digital data, India is set to become the next major hub for digital economy, or this orange economy. We all know well that there is an increasing tension between India and Pakistan. In fact, ranging from the ceasefire violations at line of control and international border to simultaneous naval exercises, along with NAV area warnings issued by both the navies. Along with this notices, that is notice to airmen notices, are also being given by both India and Pakistan. And in this context, the US Defense Secretary has given a very important statement in conversation with the Indian Defense Minister Rajnath Singh. The US Defense Secretary has stated that India has a right to defend itself, and along with that, it also said that USA is in solidarity with India in its fight against terrorism. A global superpower providing this kind of support and statements to India is a definite moral booster, and it is also signifying the global consensus that India is building against Pakistan as a sponsorer of terrorism. The Indian Defense Minister Rajnath Singh also stated that Pakistan has always been a supporter of terrorism, and it historically always tried to disturb Indian peace through terrorism. And along with that, yesterday, US Secretary of State Mark Rubio has stated that there is a need for de-escalation of tensions between India and Pakistan and restoration of dialogue. Let's wait and see what is going to happen. There has been a mineral deal signed between USA and Ukraine. This deal is called as Ukraine-USA Reinvestment Fund. And in fact, we have known well that over the past 1 month, there have been negotiations between Ukraine and USA with respect to access to the mineral resources of Ukraine. In fact, USA has spent a lot of money, in fact, billions of dollars, supporting the Ukraine's defense against Russia. And Donald Trump has always repeatedly said that America is not willing to lose any more money, and it will be interested in supporting Ukraine if it gets something in return. And this is a classic case of transactionalism, in which in return for the American support to Ukraine in its defense against Russia, it is demanding the minerals of Ukraine. As we all know well that Ukraine is a mineral rich country, and the current deal in fact provides access to USA for 20 minerals, which include rare earth elements along with oil and natural gas. We all know that Ukraine is a major source for titanium, zirconium, and along with that graphite and lithium, which are all very important minerals. And in the context of tariff war between USA and China, China has always threatened to weaponize the supply of rare earth elements, and that is the reason why USA is trying to diversify this, because for electric industry, for semiconductor industry, in fact for IT industry itself, the rare earth elements are very important, and this shows a classic case of transactionalism. So whether the peace deal between Russia and Ukraine is going to be finalized or not, we have to wait and see. Today is 547th birth anniversary of Sant Surdas. In fact, Sant Surdas is a blind poet saint of the Bhakti movement, and he proved to the world that physical deformity should not become a limitation in Bhakti. In fact, Sant Surdas, he had congenital blindness, and he was a follower of Vallabhacharya, who proposed a marga called Pushti Marga. In fact, he was one of the 8 prominent disciples of Vallabhacharya, which is called as Astachap. And after that, he started writing a lot many beautiful kirtans in praise of Lord Krishna. And all of his writings have been in Brajbhasha, and they have been collected in books like Sur Sagar, Sur Saravali, and along with that Sahitya Lahari. In fact, moved by his bhakti and his songs, even Emperor Akbar also visited Sant Surdas at one point of time, and in propagating the cult of Krishna during the medieval time, Sant Surdas has a very prominent role. Yesterday, in celebration of Enforcement Directorate's Foundation Day, the Enforcement Directorate Chief by the name of Rahul Nareen has given an important speech on PMLA and Enforcement Directorate. PMLA, if you know, is Prevention of Money Laundering Act, which has been passed by the Indian government in the year 2002. In fact, PMLA is a specialized law meant for suppressing money laundering. Then along with suppression of money laundering, the Enforcement Directorate also investigates into the links between money laundering and terrorism, because of which reason PMLA and Enforcement Directorate have been institutions in news continuously. In fact, one major criticism against PMLA and Enforcement Directorate is the low conviction rate under the PMLA. In fact, between 2005 to 2014-15, for a 10-year period, there have been 0 convictions under PMLA Act. Then after that, the next decade also did not see any substantial improvement, and in fact, there were only 47 cases where conviction has been achieved in the past decade. But the Enforcement Directorate Chief is saying that the 47 cases conviction rate is almost 93.6% conviction rate. And he is saying that because of the delayed legal procedure only, Enforcement Directorate cases are not seeing conviction, and it is nothing to do with the lax investigation or filing of cases by Enforcement Directorate. So this is one unique perspective that he has provided.